Hello, this is your host, Renata Ortega. Welcome to today's episode of the Cycle Breaker and Changemaker podcast. This podcast is all about how to break free from negative generational cycles in order to create meaningful, lasting changes. For helpful tools and answers to your most pressing questions, be sure to follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Cycle Breaker Changemaker. I look forward to helping you on your cycle breaking and change-making journey. I promise you will find nothing more rewarding than this. Hello, and welcome back to the Cycle Breaker and Changemaker podcast. I'm your host, Renata Ortega. Today, we're going deeper into a topic that so many of you reached out to me about, anticipatory fear, also known as anticipatory anxiety. If you've ever found yourself bracing for something bad, even when nothing bad has happened yet, you're not alone. In fact, you're not broken. You're likely responding to something very old, something that once tried to protect you. This episode is for anyone who's ever lost sleep over what ifs, anyone who plays out worst-case scenarios in their head, and especially for those who've survived trauma and now feel like the future is never safe. Let's dive in. What is anticipatory fear really? Anticipatory fear is not just worry. It's a survival strategy your nervous system has created to try to protect you. It says, plan for the worst. Expect danger. Be ready. This can show up as obsessively rehearsing conversations, being afraid of upcoming events, feeling dread even when there's no real threat, catastrophizing outcomes, physical symptoms like nausea, rapid heartbeat, or insomnia. These responses are not irrational. They may not make sense to the situation you're in now, but they make perfect sense when you understand where they come from. Why it starts, and why it sticks around. Let's break this down with an example. If you grew up in a home where sudden outbursts or unpredictable chaos occurred, your nervous system learned one very important thing: stay alert. And here's the thing, that learning worked. It likely helped you survive. But now, that alarm system might be going off even when nothing is truly wrong. This is what happened to me. Because of unpredictable anger outbursts in my childhood, I learned to fear conflict, not just dislike it, fear it. Even the hint of irritation in someone's voice would send my body into a full-blown stress response. My palms would sweat. My heart would race. I'd mentally spiral into worst-case scenarios. My nervous system didn't know I was safe now. It only remembered when I wasn't. Here's how anticipatory fear becomes a negative cycle. You anticipate something bad happening. Your body reacts with anxiety or panic. You try to avoid the situation altogether. Temporary relief tricks you into believing avoidance worked. But the fear grows stronger, and next time, it starts even earlier. You get stuck, trapped in a loop of fear, reaction, avoidance, and repeat. Breaking this cycle isn't just about calming down or thinking positive. It's about teaching your nervous system that the future isn't the enemy anymore. How I broke my cycle. I want to share a moment where I almost let anticipatory fear lead me into a decision I knew wasn't right for me. I had a major life decision to make, and I was terrified. Not of the decision itself, but of upsetting someone. I was so scared of making them angry that I was about to go through with something that felt wrong in my bones. Sound familiar? I started obsessing over what might happen. Would they yell? Would they abandon me? Would they hurt me? The fear didn't feel like fear of conflict. It felt like danger. But then, something shifted. I named it. Anticipatory fear. I acknowledged what it really was. My inner child trying to protect me from something that wasn't happening anymore. I spoke to my doctor. I started grounding. I looked at the facts, not just the fears. And slowly, I chose to say no to the thing I didn't want to do, and yes to my own safety. It wasn't easy, but I did it, and you can too. Here are 3 steps to help you break the grip of anticipatory fear. Step 1. Name it with compassion. Start with awareness. Say to yourself, "This is anticipatory fear. My body is trying to protect me based on an old experience." This helps create space between you and the emotion. It also allows you to treat yourself with kindness instead of frustration. Step 2. Interrogate the fear with curiosity. Ask yourself, what am I afraid will happen? Is that outcome likely? Even if the worst happens, can I handle it? Write it down. Speak it aloud. The more you bring the fear into the light, the less power it has. Step 3. Ground yourself and take micro-actions. Grounding is key. Try belly breaths, counting things you can see, hear, and touch. Putting your feet on the floor and saying, "I am safe in this moment." Then take one small action, one step toward the thing you're afraid of. This might look like sending a message you've been avoiding, preparing for an interview you're nervous about, saying no to something that doesn't feel right. Even the tiniest action can remind your body that it is safe to move forward. A gentle reminder. Breaking free from anticipatory fear doesn't mean the fear never shows up again. It means when it does, you know what to do with it. You are not weak for feeling afraid of the future. You are likely someone who has been through something that taught you to prepare for the pain. But you can also learn to prepare for peace, for joy, for possibility. That's the future you deserve. That's the future you are allowed to imagine. Thank you for joining me for this deep dive into anticipatory fear. If this episode resonated with you, I want you to know something. You are not broken. You are healing. And healing takes time, tenderness, and tools. Thank you for choosing this deep dive into anticipatory fear. If this episode resonated with you, I want you to know something. You are not broken. You are healing. Until next time, stay kind, stay brave, and keep breaking the cycle. Thank you for listening to today's episode of Cycle Breaker and Changemaker. I would love to hear from you and to receive your feedback. Remember, you can reach me on Instagram or Facebook at Cycle Breaker Changemaker. Please rate, review, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts in order to help me continue to help you. I am looking forward to having you join me for the next episode. Until then, please take care.